Hi everyone. So in this lecture we will see how to use the data manipulation commands such as insert, delete and update. Okay, so first go to MySQL console, enter the password. Now here just list all the databases, show databases. So it will list all the databases. From this I will set current database as test, and in this database I have two tables, department and employee. I'll just show you what is the structure of these two tables. So here department has two attributes, department ID and department name. And in department ID is the primary key and dname is set as unique. And in employee we have employee ID as a primary key and employee name it is set with the constraint not null, because here you can see under null it is showing no. Then date of birth, salary, and salary is set with the default value 30,000. Then department ID, character type, and phone, integer type. Now here we have to add the foreign keys. To add foreign keys, first thing here you have to set the storage engine as InnoDB. Then go to command prompt, and here suppose you want to alter the table because you want to add the foreign key, then use the alter table command, alter table. Table name is employee and add the foreign key constraint, and here I'll give the name to this constraint, FK department, and I'll make this as DID as a foreign key and which references department DID. It says cannot add foreign key constraint because see the data type of DID in employee and department. So in employee it is of character type and in department it is of integer type. When you are adding the foreign key constraint, the data type of these two attribute must match. Okay, so change the data type of DID attribute. Alter table employee, modify, because no need to add again, modify DID and make this as integer type. Okay, now the data types are matching, so we can add the foreign key. It says foreign query okay and 0 rows affected. So you have added foreign key to this table. You check the structure of this table. It shows DID, and under DID it is showing MUL. That means it will create an index and then it will add the constraint, foreign key constraint to this. Now suppose you want to remove this constraint. Okay, you want to delete this constraint, then you have to use alter command again, but here the keyword or the option used with alter is drop. Okay, drop foreign key. Okay, drop foreign key, or you can write drop constraint FKDPT. Okay, since foreign key. Okay, it will remove that foreign key. Now the next thing is, even though after deleting this foreign key, but still you can see the reference, right? MUL, that is the index. Actually, uh, whenever you add the foreign key, it will create an index also in MySQL. So it is showing the index. So you want to remove the index means what we have to do here is again use the alter command and drop index. Okay, and along the name of this index is again fkdept. With the same name, it will create an index. So now that reference or the index is also removed. Okay, so here in some of the SQL or the databases, it uses a drop constraint syntax. Okay, but here you have to write a drop foreign key and what is the name of that foreign key. And to remove the index, you can use drop index. I'll just add the foreign key again. And when you are adding the foreign key, you can set some of the options like on delete cascade or on delete set null. Okay, here I'll not set any option. We'll see what happens if we don't set any option to this. So this changes, or if you have not set any option, then by default it will take the restrict option. That means whenever you are trying to delete some of the tuples from the master table, then if that value is referenced in the child table, so those tuples will not get deleted. Okay, it will show an integrity constraint error, referential integrity constraint error. So that's why uh, uh, whenever you want to delete means delete from the master table means first you have to delete it from the child table and then you can delete that from the master table. Now we'll go for insert command, like how you can add the data to the existing table. Okay, so I'll show you first. I'll insert the values to the department table. So here the command used is insert into table name and then values. Within parentheses you have to specify the values for each attribute. Okay, in the same order you have to specify. For example, here did is given first and then dname, correct? So you have to mention or you have to provide the value for did first and then dname. So I'll take did as 1 and dname it is of character type, so you have to specify within quotes. Okay, so here one row affected, that means you have added one row. If you give the same department ID, then it says duplicate entry for key, right? Primary key must have distinct values, so that's why it is showing error. And then you can change this, but okay, so here what happens, if you want to see the values, you want to retrieve the values, then you have to use the select query. Okay, select star from emp, it will okay, so department we are adding, so I'll just show department. Okay, what is the structure of this department table? The values must be unique for dname and this is the primary key. So you can see here 1 CSC and 2 ISC. Now if you insert the same value for department name, it says duplicate entry because the D name must be unique. Here it is repeated, right? So that's why it will not allow it to enter the duplicate values for the D name. Now we can change this to okay. Now another syntax I'll show you here, that is along with department you can specify what all the attribute you want to insert. Okay, so here I'll write department as first I'll enter DID, then DName. Okay, and this order can be changed. That means when you are writing using this syntax, the second syntax, then you can write DName first and DID next. While entering the values or while providing the values, you have to give in this order, like DName first and then DID. And this should be unique, so I'll change this to some other department. Okay, and now we'll just see what all that departments we have inserted. We can see 3 civil, 1 CSE, 2 ISC and 4 mechanical. Okay, now we try to insert the values to employee relation or employee table. So here while inserting the values to the employee table, I'll just enter the value for employee ID, employee name, date of birth, salary I'll not put, DID I'll not put, then phone number. Okay, phone, and values will take employee ID as 1, 2, 3, then name, it is a character type, so give within quotes, date again within quotes, and while giving you have to specify the year first, then month, then date, and salary. Okay, next is phone number. Okay. So here it says out of range value for column phone at row 1. Even though you have specified phone as integer of 10, size is 10, but there is a maximum limit. Even though it is taking 10 digits, but it is taking signed numbers. Okay, signed numbers, and that's why we can have the maximum range which is not starting from 9. What we have to do now, this value I can't enter. You can suppose the first digit is 3 or 2, then it will take, but phone number usually starts with 7 or 8 or 9, correct? So to change this, I'll make this as, I'll just alter this table, alter table employee, and the data type for phone number I'll I'll make this as a big int type. Okay, instead of integer, I'll use big int. Now you can see this 9983453567 is allowed. Okay, so for phone number you can use, instead of integer you can write big int. Now I have not specified the value for which one, salary and department ID. So if you see the content of this table, now for salary it is taking the default value. Okay, so 30,000 is the default value, so it will take 30,000. And for department ID, it will take null value. Okay, now if I write here department ID and I'll specify some random number over here, 5, and this I have to change 1 to 4, and Ankita, and this I'll change to some other value, and here 5, 6. Now it is giving an error, right, for the integrity foreign key referential integrity constraint. Why? Because in the department table we don't have department with department ID 5. Okay, that's why it is showing an error. So we can change this to 4, and in this case it will execute. You can see the second row which is inserted into employee table. Okay, 1 to 4 Ankita and this value. Now the next thing is, okay, here I have not mentioned department ID, right? So initially I don't know whether Arun is assigned to which department. So now I know he belongs to department 1. That means this row must be updated. Okay, you have to change the department ID value. To do that, we have to use update command. So update, give the table name, then set. Here you specify which attribute you want to modify, which attribute value you want to modify. So I want to modify department ID and I want to set this to 1. Now if we don't specify the condition, then for both the rows it will update. But I want to update only one row, means here we have to use the where clause. Okay, specify the condition in where clause. So here I'll write employee ID equal to 1 to 3. This is the employee ID of Arun, so I'll write 1 to 3. Now it is updated. Okay, you can see the employee table. Similarly, salary also you can update. Update set salary equal to 35,000, where EID equal to 1 to 3. Okay, so like this we can change the values. So this is the update operation. So alter you are using to modify the structure of the table, but to modify any attribute value you have to use update command. Then to delete, suppose you want to delete one of the row from this. Say you want to delete the employee with employee ID 1 to 4. Then you can write delete from employee where employee ID equal to 1 to 4. Okay, so it gets deleted. I'll just add the row, 2 rows to this employee table. 2 rows means at a time how to add multiple rows, that I'll show you now. Values, and here I'll take employee ID as 1 to 4. I already deleted this, so I can add it again. Ankita, then date of birth 220626, some random number, then salary, department ID, I'll set this as 2, and number, phone number. Okay, then one more, 25, So at a time you can add multiple rows. Okay, so using the insert command, first a single row how to insert, then I have explained how you can insert only the uh, desired attribute values, not all, only the few attributes if you want to add, then how you can do. And here you can see if you want to add multiple rows at a time, then you can use this syntax. Okay, now if I display this employee, I can see 3 rows were added to this table. Now for the delete command, delete from emp. So here I won't specify any of the condition. Then it will delete all 3 rows. That means it will empty the table. Okay, so that is if you don't specify the condition in update command, it will set the value for all the rows. And if you don't specify any condition when you're executing the delete command, so it will just truncate the table. That means there won't be any tuples present in your table. It will be empty. Okay, so if you check, it shows empty set. Okay, now there is one more DDL command, that is drop. See, you have seen create, then alter, and then one more command is there, that is drop. Here alter and drop, these two are called as schema change statements. That means after creating the table, then you can modify the structure of the database elements using alter or drop. Okay, drop will completely delete the structure of the database elements. Maybe it is a view, or it is a table, or it is a database. Now if you specify drop database and the database name, then whatever tables you have inside the database, that will also get deleted. Now suppose you want to delete only the particular table, then you can write drop table employee. Okay, now if you do show tables, it will show only department. Okay, now if you write drop, okay, I'll just do one by one. So describe department. I have unique constraint. I'll just drop this constraint using alter table. Directly you can drop, and simply I'm just showing how you can drop these constraints, and then you can drop the entire table. So drop alter table department, drop constraint, I don't remember the name exactly, so simply I'll drop the primary key here, drop primary key. Okay, primary key is dropped. Now to drop the table, drop table department. Okay, now your database, test database is empty. There is no tables. Now you can drop the entire database. Okay, so suppose if you try to see what is there in your department table, say that doesn't exist. Now you can drop the entire database. Drop database test. Okay, so here if we do show databases, so no test database, so that is not present. If you do write use test, it will say unknown database because it got deleted from the database. Okay, so like this you can use the data manipulation commands like insert, delete and update. Thank you.